people and places that run several pages long and feels like an appendix from The Lord of the Rings. And how are the jurors leaking this already when they're not supposed to be talking to anybody, including their own spouses? So, less than 10 jurors make it to the next round of questioning in Diddy trial. Most of them have replied that they are aware of the claims against Diddy. 4 prospective jurors were dismissed. All of the jurors interviewed today were anonymous and only referred to by their juror number. The 4 key questions that the potential jurors had to answer. Okay, this is to find out their suitability. Some of the bombshell questions they will be asked to determine if they make it to the 12-person panel. Many revolve around attitudes to the sensational carnal transportation and racketeering crimes he's accused of, and their views on the hip-hop industry in general. They face a grilling by his legal team and government prosecutors over their suitability to judge his guilt or innocence. Let's see what it says then. So, about 150 potential jurors are in the pool, with the intention to whittle that down to 45 before the final pick following days of minute scrutiny. He is accused in a 17-page indictment of a 20-year-old reign of abuse against women, making them take part in performances with workers of the night, which he dubbed freak-offs. All the potential jurors are reportedly from Diddy's home city of New York, and they must answer pre-screening questions on their general background and preliminary information. Those who go through are then grilled by lawyers in a process called voir dire. According to documents obtained, prosecutors from the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, will laser focus questions that include, number 1, you may hear evidence in this case relating to the payment of commercial sex workers in exchange for sex. Do you have any feelings, beliefs, or experiences relating to prostitution and the enforcement of laws around prostitution that could affect your ability to be fair and impartial in this case? Question number 2. You may hear evidence relating to firearms. Do you have any feelings, beliefs, or experiences about guns and the enforcement of gun laws that could affect your ability to be fair and impartial in this case? Number 3, you may hear evidence relating to the distribution and use of illegal drugs. Do you have any feelings, beliefs, or experiences relating to illegal drugs, the enforcement of drug laws, drug use, or drug addiction that could affect your ability to be fair and impartial in this case? Number 4, you may hear testimony from witnesses who are alleged victims of SA and S transportation. Would you have any difficulty assessing the credibility of such a witness, just like you would any other witnesses? The attorneys also want to know if a potential juror has strong feelings about witnesses testifying after being given immunity from prosecution. So, if someone's taking the stand and they've had some kind of case dropped, or they're now immune from prosecution, they are bought and owned by the state. They'll say anything to get whatever the payment is. So I'm just looking at the United States District Court paperwork here. There is what is your age, sex, what city do you live? Requests. All right, so the government respectfully requests, pursuant to Rule 24A of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, that the court include the following questions in its examination of prospective jurors. The court is requested to pursue more detailed questioning if a prospective juror's answer reveals that further inquiry is appropriate, and in such an instance to conclude with an inquiry as to whether the particular fact or circumstance would influence the prospective juror in favor of or against either the government or the defendant. In addition, the government respectfully asks that the court conduct similar detailed questioning regarding any questionnaire answers that warrant further inquiry. The government also respectfully requests that the court give its standard preliminary instructions to the panel of prospective jurors. This is a criminal case. To help you understand the reason for the questions I'll be asking you, I want to tell you briefly about the charges. The defendant has been charged with the commission of certain federal crimes in a document called an indictment, filed by a grand jury sitting in this district. The indictment is not evidence in itself. It simply contains the charges that the government, pursuant to the court's scheduling order, the defense's proposed questions. Okay, so here's the questions now. What is your age? What is your sex? What is your gender identity? In what city and county do you live? Who, if anyone, do you live with? If you are married or in a relationship, what is your spouse or partner's occupation and employer? How long have they worked for that employer or been in that occupation? What are the job responsibilities? Do you have children? If so, what are their ages? If you have adult children, what, if anything, do they do for work? Are you currently working? Who is your current or most recent employer? And what is your job title? If not, when was the last time you worked? And please describe your most recent employment. What were your specific duties at your job? If you are working, what do you do for a living? What are your specific duties? How would you describe your job responsibilities? Do you manage or supervise others as part of your job? What is the highest level of education you have completed? And if you have any college or postgraduate degrees, what was your degree or area of study? And now I'm going to read you a list of occupational areas. Please tell me if you or someone you are very close to has any training, experience, or specialized knowledge in that area, and explain the experience. A, business. B, SA training. C, S, harassment training. D, domestic violence training. E, psychiatry, psychology. F, security services. G, addiction treatment or counseling. H, finance. I, law enforcement. Next, question 11. What clubs, groups, or organizations do you belong to or regularly participate in? For example, church groups, professional organizations, volunteer activities, victims' rights groups, the Freemasons, the Boulets. I just added those two at the end. Sorry, folks, I couldn't resist. If you have a spouse or partner, what clubs, groups are they in? What do you do in your free time? What hobbies, interests outside of work and family? Which socials do you use? How do you get your news? Newspapers, mags, websites, online news, publications. Which ones do you read most often? Do you listen to any podcasts? Shaun Attwood, True Crime. Attwood Unleashed. Can you imagine? They Diddy and Jay-Z named our podcast like in several of their lawsuits. I can't believe we're not on the jury questions. I'm disappointed. Come on, Diddy. You can do better than that, Diddy. There's got to be some of my viewers out there in this jury pool we, we're gonna imagine if we had someone in the jury pool giving us the inside scoop. All right, where was I? Podcast, yes. Number 15. I'm going to read 3 group decision-making styles, and I'd like you to tell me which one comes closest to the way you make decisions. You strongly express your views to get the outcome you believe is best. You participate in the discussion and try to help build a consensus. You listen and follow what you think the majority favors. Strongly express your views to get the outcome you believe is best. That's Ron, isn't it? Participate in the discussion and try to help build a consensus. Participate in that.